All right. How's everybody doing today? Today is, or it was, Thursday, July the 9th. My good friend Sandy's off to Spokane to be with her family. And I made it a poker day today. Eh, so the World Series of Poker is sometimes referred to as summer camp because the first 2 weeks are like the first session, for me, are like the first session of camp. People from, as I said before, people from all over the world come in, and 99.99999% of them are great. They have great stories. I learn so much. I enjoy speaking with them. I love listening to them. I do listen from time to time, and it's just really cool. But so as the main event gets closer, the fun people seem to be going home. They've gone home after week 2 or week 3 because they're not going to plop down $10,000 and play in the main event for reasons that are their reasons, and they're welcome to them. But then more and more and more people come in to play the main event, and these are some rather younger people, certainly than myself, which doesn't take a lot. But these guys are nuts. They just take money and they just don't seem to. I guess they get paid on their job so much money that money just doesn't have any value to them at 25, 26, 27, 31, 32, 33. But when they turn 61, 62, 63, 71, 72, 73, some of them might be looking back. Those that have done well and they're trying to do well in the game and trying to make a living in the game. But man, they have this thing called GTO, Game Theory Optimizer, which is a problem solver. If you have time to punch in hands and things like that, and tells you what you should have done or what you should do, and it can get a little crazy. And so these guys, this GTO stuff has sort of changed the game to where people in the 23, 24, 25, 31, 32, 33 arena age group seem to understand it. Now, I almost understand it, but I've looked at the GTO apps and stuff, and I can't make heads or tails. But I have found a really good video source that I've been watching of late, and this guy simplifies it for, as he calls us, old man poker, uh, and it sort of helps, but I can't avoid the pressure. These kids will put in three, four, five, six, $700 in a cash game. In a $2, $3 no limit hold'em cash game, they'll shove it right in, and they have like whatever it is, and it's nuts, and it doesn't make the game any less fun, but it makes it concerning, especially when moi ain't running real well. So I'm looking forward. Today was a cash day. They got into the cash at the World Series of Poker, which means they're down to like 9,000. So 900. Anyway, whatever. They're into the cash now, and so a lot of people just shove and go. And even one young man posted on Facebook the other day that he was sort of glad that he busted out of the World Series of Poker so he can come over to South Point, which is where I tend to play during this time of year, and push chips around, and good for him, good for him, good for him. Just like my style. So I'm gonna leave that at that. Um, Second night of my replacement medication, going back to Seroquel via my new doctor, and I would tell you her name, but I'd be doggone if I could pronounce it. But she's a very nice lady. So she cut this Seroquel that I had at 50 milligrams before one of my new doctors who quit took me off of it and put me on Traxidone or something, and I just had a lot of trouble sleeping with it. So she put me back on this, but cut me back to 25 milligrams. I mean, these first 2 nights, it's all I can do to drag myself out of bed. So I sent her a message this afternoon saying, should I cut this in half, or is there yet a smaller dose? Because I enjoy the rest, but too much of a good thing might not be such of a good thing. So anyway, the one thing I forgot to do the last couple of nights is my friend Peggy up in Seattle, who I have known for more than a few weeks. I met Peggy in 1976 when I wound up being her caddy at the LPGA stop in Dallas. Go figure. So I met her. I met Kathy Mann. Kathy Mann is a Facebook friend these days. Um, Peggy and I have been friends ever since. She did quite well as a junior golfer, as an amateur, and then of course she obviously played on tour. She went to Europe. She loves Europe. Anyway, so she mentioned the other day. Oh, and Kathy and I are still very good friends as well. Well, Facebook friends per se. Um, Peggy mentioned the other day, like, how do people know who Frostie is? Well, so again, as I'm learning or will be learning this weekend, the CapCut video editor, I'll be able to have B-rolls on there and show you. But I just don't have a picture of her standing right here. Um, Actually, in my pocket or in my keychain, I actually have a picture of Frostie right there. That's that's my baby Frostie. I adopted Frostie in 2011 at the Dog Pound in Chatsworth, California. We were together up until January 23rd of this year, where unfortunately Frostie was sick. It was anyway. So it was decided it's best for Frostie to put her down at that time. I probably contributed a lot to that, as I'm not able to take her out on walks and stuff because I use walking sticks when I take my walks, and I can't really bend over. One time we went to the vet, and Frostie had this incredible habit of every time we go to the vet, she finds the most obscure spot to take a dump. And so, sure enough, I got my bags in my pocket, because I know she's going to do this. And she went to a obscure spot right around a couple of cactus and took her dump. And I bent over to pick it up, and don't you know, I went, meow. I freaked out a couple of people in the parking lot. They come running over and said, "No, don't move, don't move." I was fine. I just had fallen over, but I appreciate their concern. And I don't know if Frostie got it. Anyway, so it was difficult for me to take care of what Frostie left behind on our walks. It was it's just part of, my body is no question. My body is falling apart. My soul is very much intact. My soul is very much intact. And I like that feeling, actually. I don't like having a body falling apart, but I like having a soul that feels refreshed. So that's who Frostie is. We were together for 14 years. So actually, must have been 2000 and, well, 14. Yeah, yeah. This is 2020, 2012 when I adopted her. She was. All dogs are incredible. All pets have unconditional love. Complete. They just give and give and give and give and do very little taking. I miss Frostie profusely. And I mean, I miss her profusely. She was a wonderful companion. We traveled across this country back and forth and up and down and all over the place into Florida. You think if she could speak, I wonder if she would ever complain. But wherever we got to where we were going, she seemed to enjoy it very much. So that's who Frostie was. Thank you, Peggy, for reminding me about that. And I apologize for having the assumption thing going on, but that is what it is. So thank goodness, that the WSOP main event is in the money. That means this thing will be over probably Sunday or Monday, and these summer campers will be heading home, and not too many of them will linger around. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll get back to what where poker is enjoyable, although it is enjoyable at times to see these kids just shove money into the pot, into the table, and have no problem reaching into their pocket. Again, I can't. What do they do for a living? They're not playing poker for a living because they're just washing cash down the whatever it is. But more power to them. I never ever had that kind of money, ever. I always managed to stay within my lane, and that's what I'm doing right now. So anyway, that's it for World Series of Poker. As far as beating the cash and getting rid of these summer campers, I'm glad they're here. It's so much better the first 2 weeks when these people are just tremendous and have great stories to share. It is what it is this time of year. And then now you know about Frostie. And you know that this weekend I'll be spending time learning the CapCut so we can make some decent videos. These are fun, but I know there are decent ones out there. So anyway, we'll see you. 10301don@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. That little button that says subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I don't know what good it does, what it doesn't do, or just give me a like, a comment, something. Let me know you're out there. Thank you. See ya. Bye.